I need the scoop.
She helped her friend's girlfriend find a job, only to be accused of destroying it. This Reddit story exploded with outrage as thousands debated loyalty, deception, and what happens when a liar needs someone else to blame. Get ready for a social betrayal that will make you question who you can really trust.
My friend, let's call him Ted, and his girlfriend have been in a long-distance relationship for many years. His girlfriend, let's call her Ellen, quit her job 8 months ago and came to live with him. During this entire time, Ted and I had been reaching out to everyone we know to help her find work. A few months ago, I noticed that the name of her last company on her resume was incorrect. When I pointed it out to her, she told me it was on purpose. Her previous company didn't have much of a reputation, so she had essentially lied and listed a much more respectable firm instead, putting down her sister's name as a reference, since her sister actually worked there. I told her she shouldn't have done that, and most certainly shouldn't have asked me to refer her to people with a blatant lie on her resume. She defended herself, saying it wasn't a complete lie because she hadn't made up any actual work experience. I told her that was her call to make, but I wouldn't be able to help her anymore. After that, Ted and I were still on good terms, but neither of us brought up the job hunt again. Sometime later, she finally landed an interview and got an offer. She told me about it and thanked me for all my help. I was genuinely happy for her. She started the job immediately. A week in, she was in an orientation session with all her peers when her manager publicly called her out for the dishonesty on her resume and asked her to leave on the spot. Ellen claims that while she was packing up her desk, she overheard her manager telling a colleague that someone had tipped him off. Since only Ted and I knew about the lie, she says it had to be me. Ted says he doesn't believe I did it, but he can't not support her because she's, in his words, an unemployed, betrayed mess right now. And so, he's severing ties with me. What makes this even harder is that she's already gone to our mutual friends with her version of events. She told them that I was fully aware of the lie and had knowingly and willingly referred her anyway, and that somewhere along the way, when the interviews started coming in and it became real that she might actually get a job in the city, I got insecure, refused to help her anymore, and then went ahead and reported her to her new employer out of spite. She told them she had even reached out to share the good news with me, and I still did this to her. My dignified silence hasn't exactly made a strong case in my favor. Our mutual friends, Ted's 2 flatmates, who Ellen now lives with, seem more focused on how difficult her situation is than on the fact that she lied on her resume and is now shifting the blame onto me rather than owning her mistake. As for how the employer actually found out, I genuinely don't know. Background checks are typically completed before an offer is even made, so I'm not sure what happened there. It's possible someone at the new company knew someone from the firm she falsely claimed to have worked at, or that HR went directly to the company rather than the reference she provided. Either way, she's using me as a scapegoat, and I'm left wondering whether I should reach out to the employer to try to clear my name, or simply let it go.
Reddit overwhelmingly backed the original poster, with commenters pointing out that background checks and HR departments routinely catch resume fraud without any tip-off needed. The original poster sent a calm, measured message to Ted and his flatmate, hoping to clear the air. What came back after 2 days of silence would make it devastatingly clear just how far the story had already been rewritten.
I just spoke to one of Ted's flatmates to find out what's going on. Apparently, Ellen has woven a very convincing story about me having feelings for Ted, and that because of those feelings, I didn't want her to get a job here, which she's now claiming was the real reason I refused to help her earlier. She's been in tears over the whole thing. Ted actually tried to defend me, but when he did, she turned on him too and started accusing him as well. It's a complete mess, and I'm honestly not sure whether I should say something or do something at this point.
I have to say, the speed at which this narrative shifted is genuinely shocking, and the detail about being accused of having feelings for Ted adds a whole new layer of calculated manipulation. The original poster reached out one more time, hoping that years of friendship would speak louder than a newcomer's tears. Just days later, a Facebook check-in would deliver the final wordless answer.
To give some quick background, my friend Ted's long-distance girlfriend Ellen moved cities to live with him and his 2 roommates. Ted and I had spent many months helping her hunt for a job. Then I discovered a lie on her resume, confronted her about it, and she admitted it was deliberate. She eventually did land a job, but her lie got caught, and she lost it. Instead of owning up to it, she told Ted and the others that I was the one who tipped off her boss to get her fired. After getting a lot of advice on what to do, I sent a short, measured text to Ted and one of the flatmates. I wasn't very close to the other one. It said, "What happened was unfortunate, and I understand that Ellen is upset, but I obviously have nothing to do with this, and hope you know that too. Speak soon. Cheers." Neither of them replied for 2 days, which was unusual, but I let it be. Then, yesterday, I texted the flatmate asking about weekend plans, since we all normally do something together. He replied with a huge wall of emotional gibberish that basically amounted to this: that I had done exactly what Ellen claimed, without a doubt, that none of them expected such despicable behavior from me, and that I should stay away. I tried calling Ted a couple of times, no reply, and then today, there was a check-in on his social media, the 4 of them, plus another friend, at a nearby beach. Someone pointed out that since Ellen had basically lied about everything in this situation, she may well have fabricated some convincing proof that I was the one behind it. It really does seem like she just wanted me out of her boyfriend's life and did what she had to do to make that happen. What's surprising is that she never once hinted at being uncomfortable with our friendship before any of this. And honestly, if my friends are willing to believe someone who just entered their lives, over me, and apparently without any real evidence, then maybe they were never the friends I thought they were. For all I know, she gave them something that looked like proof, but for them to completely sideline and dismiss me after knowing me as long as they have. Yeah, I need better friends. So that's where things stand. My so-called friends have cut me off. There's nothing left to salvage here. It feels awful, but maybe it's for the best.
When someone builds their life on lies, the fallout rarely lands where it belongs. The original poster is left picking up the pieces of a friendship group that chose a convenient story over the truth. So drop your thoughts on loyalty and betrayal in the comments below. Subscribe for more stories about trust tested to its limits, and explore our other videos for more tales of people navigating impossible situations.